Namaste, beautiful yogis. This is a Vinyasa, high-intensity interval yoga class with a specific focus on legs and glutes. Let's come down onto our mats into a seated position, easy seated position, Sukhasana. Bring your hands over your knees, palms facing forward. Close your eyes and begin to deepen your breath, making a conscious connection with your core, deepening your connection with your core. Taking a few nice inhalations followed by complete and slow exhalations. And let's bring the hands over our heart and set an intention for this class to let our higher self guide us in everything we do. And as you set this intention, observe it, let it resonate within you, and let it go. Allow it to work its magic on a subconscious or higher conscious level, resonating within your higher self. And let's open the eyes, bringing the hands by the hips, lower the right hand down, elbow pointing back towards you. Reach with the left arm over your head, keeping both sitting bones firmly planted into your mat. Breathe. Switch sides. Keep this as a light stretch. You don't have to go very far. We're just warming up, easing into our practice. And let's bring the right hand over the left knee, look over your left shoulder. And over to the other side, exhale, twist over to your right. And back to center. Bring your hands over your knees and bring your chest forward, arching your back, lifting your chin, looking up. Exhale, round your back, look towards your navel, pull the belly in. Inhale, lifting through the sternum, opening the chest, arching the back. Exhale, rounding the back, drawing the navel in, tucking the chin into our chest. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lift, drop the shoulders down and come back to neutral. Let's bring the hands all the way over the head, clasping the fingers, index fingers pointing. And let's bring the hands, interlacing the fingers behind the head. Press your elbows back, look up, open the chest. Mild back extension. Exhale, bring your elbows together, tucking the chin in. Inhale, open the chest one more time, drop the elbows back in one line with your ears. Exhale, bring your hands down on the floor, facing the front of the room, coming into all fours. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Cat-cow pose. Exhale, rounding the back. Pull the navel in, look towards your navel. Inhale, arching, drop the shoulders away from your ears. Chest is open. Exhale, rounding as much as you can, drawing the navel in. Inhale, dropping the shoulder blades into the upper back. Exhale, rounding. And let's walk the hands to the very front of our mats, planting the hands down and sit halfway back. Hands are pressing down into our mats, resisting, and breathe into your entire spine. Forehead is on the floor. Inhale, come back to all fours and bring your right hand across from your body. Back of the shoulder on the floor, twist, stretching the back of your shoulder. You can walk the left hand in front of you or keep it by your head. Slowly coming out of this, changing sides. Keep the back of your head and the back of your shoulder on the floor, not your ear. Soften, exhale. Inhale, coming back up. And let's tuck the toes under and press into downward facing dog. Spread the fingers open. Press into your knuckles. Press into the base of each finger. Keep the spine straight. Press your tailbone and hips as high as you can, as if your hips are being pulled up by an invisible force, high towards the sky. Spinning the inner thighs back towards the back of your room. And you can look under your left shoulder and under your right shoulder, and you can shake your head yes and no. Great, let's walk the feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, bow down, forward bend, Uttanasan. Inhale, look ahead of you, pull the belly in, come all the way up to standing, hands over the heart. Bring your hands behind your head and open the chest, press the elbows back. Extend the tailbone down. Coming out of this, reach over your head with your right hand, side bends. Open the chest one more time, elbows back, hands behind the head. Coming out of this, side bend over to the other side. Inhale back to center, hands behind the head. One more time, lifting through your sternum. Look up, lengthen the back of your neck. Come back to neutral, open the arms out to the sides. Step your feet hip width apart. Hips are still facing forward. Twist over to one side, look behind you. Back to center, twist over to the other side. Hips are facing forward, so it might be a really mild twist here. And come back forward. Sit in chair pose, hands over the head. Press your hips as far back as you can so that your knees are back. Inhale, coming up to standing, hands over the heart. Sit in chair pose. One more time. Inner thighs are working here. Shift your weight onto your right leg. Lift your left leg off the floor. Step it back down, switch sides. Do your best. Sit as far back as you can. And sit back down. And you can rest your chest here over your thighs, wrapping the wrists around the elbows. Let your head be heavy. Hands on the floor, straighten the legs. Bring your hands over your shins. Look ahead of you, flat back. Hands on the floor, step back, plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Shin bones, knees and thighs are off the floor. Open the chest. Back to chaturanga. Exhale in downward facing dog. Pull the belly in and up. Drop the heels down. Shoulders away from the ears. Triceps spinning internally. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between your hands. Come up, high lunge, pressing the back heel straight up and away from you. Extending the tailbone down, relax the shoulders. Exhale halfway down. Flat back, and let's bring the left hand on the floor. Right arm spins up. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, soften the belly. Twist a little deeper here. Reach over your head. Press your right hip back, away from your right shoulder. Bring both hands on the floor, step in plank. Lower down chaturanga, hold. Inhale, upward facing dog, hold. Back to chaturanga, hold. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Step your left foot between your hands. Come up, high lunge. Extend the tailbone down, press into your back heel. Drop the shoulders down. Halfway, chest is coming over the left thigh. Halfway down. Release the right hand on the floor. Left arm is reaching all the way up. Shoulders away from the ears. Reach with your hand over your head. Press the left hip down. Great. Bring both hands on the floor. Step back, plank. Lower down chaturanga. Press back, plank. Lower down onto your elbows, and let's bring the right forearm on the floor. Stack the hips on top of each other. Side plank. We're gonna do 20 leg lifts. Start playing leg lifts. This is our first high intensity interval. Do your best. Count to 20. Keep your hips lifted. If you have to take a break, pause the video, come back to it. Try to complete your 20. If you can't complete 20 leg lifts, don't be harsh on yourself. Come back to it next time. And let's reach over the head. Both hands back down, forearms down to plank, and switch sides. 20 leg lifts here. Try to keep your hips on top of each other. The obliques are lifted, the hips are lifted. Belly is in, inner thighs working. Reaching over the head and back to forearm plank. And we're gonna do 20 knee tucks here. Let's begin. Keep your belly in. Keep your moves steady. Count to 20, 10 on each side. Once you're done, sit in extended puppy pose. Enjoy. And come back up to all fours. Straighten the legs. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the right foot between your hands. Come up, warrior 2. Right knee aligning with the toes on your right side. Straighten both legs. Reach way ahead of you, triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. Once you're in triangle pose, continue the work here. Arches of your feet are lifted. You're pressing into the inner edge of your right foot, outer edge of the left. You can deepen it by reaching over your head with your left arm, lengthening the obliques. And you can deepen it even further by lifting both hands over your head. Coming out of this, let's face forward. Square the hips, lower halfway down. And let's bring the left hand on the floor. Right arm reaches up, revolving triangle pose. Parivrita Trikonasana. Keep your hips square, keep pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, heel on the floor. Release both hands on the floor, coming into wide-legged. Forward bend, facing the side of your room here. Take a break. And let's walk the hands over to the back of the mat, coming into warrior 2 on the left side. Facing the back of your room here. Straighten both legs. Prepare for triangle pose. Reach way ahead of you. Lower down. Spin the right hip open, lifting the kneecaps, lengthening the obliques, lengthening the belly, lengthening, elongating the spine. Drop the shoulders down. Deepen it if you wish to by bringing the right hand all the way towards the back of your room here over your head. And if you wish to deepen it even further, reach with both hands over your head. This requires a lot of core strength, lower back strength. Great. Let's square the hips, step the feet a little closer, reach way ahead of you, bring the right hand on the floor, left arm up, and reach way over your head here. Bring both hands down, walk the hands to the center of your mat, feet facing forward, exhale, wide-legged forward bend. You can walk your hands between your feet, bring them onto your hips, flat back, come up to standing. And let's walk the feet a little closer in, taking wide squats here. We're gonna jump the feet together and go for 20 jumps, feet apart, feet together. Try to keep your knees back, your hips back, your belly in. Here it's a little more difficult if you continue with your hands behind your head. And when you're done, You can step your feet apart for wide-legged forward bend. Walk your hands over to your right leg, right ankle, bring your chest over the leg and over to the left. And back to center. Come up, hands on the hips, flat back. 20 more. Prepare for 20 more jumps. Half squat. Jump in and out. Try to maintain your alignment. And when you're done, take chair pose. Go deep into your chair. Great. Rest your chest over your thighs. Straighten your legs, forward bend. And exhale. Forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. Hands on the floor. Jump your feet apart. And let's walk the hands over to the right foot, sit back, side lunge. And over to the left leg, side lunge on the left side. One more time, side lunge on the right side, extend the left leg. Side lunge on the left side, extending the right leg. Keep your hips back and your spine straight. Jump your feet a little closer in and we're gonna prepare for side lunge jumps. 20. Go as fast as you can. Keep your hip back, knee back, back straight, chest open. Count to 20. Look ahead of you with the chest open and the shoulders down. Keep the lower back curve. Keep pressing the hips back. Great. When you're done, you can bring your hands back down on the floor and go into a side lunge. This time we're going to stretch. The right toes are pressing back in towards you. Stick your hips as far back as you can. Change sides. Pull your toes back in towards you. This stretches the inner thighs, hamstrings. And let's walk the hands back to the center of the mat and prepare for 20 more side lunge jumps. Count to 20 one more time. Keep your belly in and your chest open. Keep your spine straight and your back flat. Natural curve in the lower back. Once you're done, you can step your feet one more time in wide-legged forward bend. And let's walk the hands to the front of the mat, low lunge. Either stay here or you can lower onto your forearms. Tuck your tailbone under and breathe into your hip flexor. Breathe into the hip, right hip here. Great. Walk your hands towards the left leg, back of your mat. Walk your right knee away from you and take low lunge here. Tuck the tailbone under. You can lower onto your forearms, hold and breathe. Keep your tailbone tucked under. Breathe into your areas of stiffness. Once you're done, you can come back into wide-legged forward bend. Hands on the hips, come up to standing. Point your toes out. Take Plie Squats. And we're gonna do 20 hop jumps here. Try to maintain the alignment here. Your knees are pointing out and your toes are following the direction of the knees. Taking small hops. Once you're done, take chair pose. Feet are hip width apart. Come all the way up, and you can grab your right wrist with your left hand, side bend, switch sides. Tuck the tailbone under. Release, face the front of your room, sit back, chair pose. Extend your legs, look ahead of you, hands on the floor, walk your feet back to plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to Chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. We're halfway through with the high intensity intervals. Inhale the right leg up, step your right foot between your hands, take the right hand up towards the ceiling, and you can spin on the outer edges of your feet here for a mouth hip opener. Opening the chest. Bring your right hand over your head, hands on the floor on the inside of the right foot. And now we're gonna come up and reach all the way over the head. High lunge. Hands behind the head, we're gonna jump and switch. Switch lunges, 20. If you wanna make it a little easier, you can take your hands in front of you. Keeping the hands behind your head keeps this somewhat harder. Take your time pointing the back knee down towards the floor, tucking the tailbone under. And jumping to switch. And let's come into a lunge. Left knee forward, right hand on the floor, left arm up, and you can roll onto the outer edges of your feet here. Take a break, come back to your breath, reach over your head, keep your hips lifted, hands on the floor, and let's come up. 20 more. The same switch lunges. Prepare and go. Go at your own pace, making sure your alignment is spot on. Your knees are over your ankles and your tailbone is extended slightly down. Chest is lifted. Try not to wobble the knees. Move steadily. And once you're done, step in chair pose, smile so it's not obvious how painful this was. Yogic Squat. You can point your toes out and bring your hands in prayer. And you can reach with your left hand up. Back to center, right arm reaches up. Keep your heels down. Back to prayer. Keep the chest open and the shoulders down. Hands on the floor, straighten the legs, forward bend. You can grab your calves here and pull your chest in. Hands on the floor, step back plank. Knees on the floor, extended puppy pose. Breathe into your spine. Come up to plank. Spread the fingers open, press into your fingers. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Knees are off the floor. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's lower the knees down on the floor. Come into a seated, extending the legs in front of you. Here, if you can do Lotus, or just Sukhasana, easy pose. Cross your legs and lift your booty off the floor, pull the belly in. Now, if you want to work on half Lotus, just keep one leg in half Lotus and lift, and then switch and lift. And you can extend both legs and lift. Legs are in front of you, hands are just a little forward in front of your hips. You can try this a few more times if you want to work on it. And then come back to the practice. Let's lay down on our backs. Take bridge pose. The feet are pointing forward and they're hip width apart. Bring your hands underneath you, clasping. Press your hips as high as you can, extending the tailbone down. Open the chest. Slowly lower down. We're going to continue with our intervals. Bring your left ankle over your right knee and prepare for bridge, one-legged bridge, hip lifts. So we're gonna go for 20 on each side, starting with the right foot on the ground first. When you do this, make sure you're pressing your left knee away from you so that we're also stretching the left hip, and lift your hips as high as you can, keeping the hips as level as you can. Keep the chest open, externally rotating the shoulders. The outer edges of the shoulders are rotating out and down, pressing into your mat. When you're done with your 20 reps on this side, switch sides. Flex your foot and count your reps. Move steadily, contracting the glutes and the hamstrings on the working leg and stretching the hip on the top leg. Nice, slow breathing. Pressing the hips as high as you can. When you're done, bring your right knee into your chest and across for a supine twist. Look all the way over to your right. Switching sides. Left knee in the chest and across. Left shoulder down. And let's bring both knees into the chest. And prepare for child's pose. Bring your hands on the outer edges of your feet, or you can grab your ankles if you can't reach all the way to your feet, and press your knees down by your rib cage, pressing the lower back down into your mat. Great, begin to rock back and forth, holding the back of your knees, gently massaging the spine, just a few rocks here, whatever feels appropriate for you. And rock all the way up to a seated pose. We're gonna bring the right knee down on the floor, bending the knee and stacking the ankle, the left ankle on top of the right knee, preparing for double pigeon. Here the shin bones have to be in the same line. Flex both feet, really important to flex your feet here. And just hold this hip opener, guiding your breath, your exhalations into your hips. Keep your back straight. Breathe. And let's come out of it and bring the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Inhale, right arm reaches all the way up. And exhale, your elbow on the outside of your knee for a seated twist. Here we're gonna bring the shin bone into the chest, bringing the foot either into your forearm or into your inner elbow if you're open enough. Keep your chest open and breathe into your hip. Another way to open the hips. Bring fluidity into the area. Great, let's go over to the other side. Left leg is on the floor, the shin bones are exactly on top of each other, stacking. If your knee is not as low as mine is here, don't worry about it, just hold the pose at the level that it feels right for you. Here, if your right knee is in the air, don't try to push it down, just hold the alignment. The ankles and the knees should be stacking on top of each other, that's the most important part, and the shin bones should be in the exact same line. Consciously guiding your breath, awareness in your breathing. Great. Let's lower the foot on the ground on the outside of the left knee. Bring your left elbow on the outside of your right knee and look behind you, working with your exhalations one more time. Exhaling, softening the belly. Every time we stretch or we twist, it's a matter of working through our exhalations, learning to let go of tension, of armor in the body, of the way we hold our body, habitual ways of holding the body. Next, let's bring the foot into the inner elbow or forearm. You can just hold your foot here. If you can, bring it all the way in. Pressing the knee away from you, flex the foot, press the foot back in towards you. And you can release the feet on the ground, bringing the soles of the feet together. Holding Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Pressing the knees down, gently pressing. And when you're done, shake your legs and you can extend your legs in front of you, rounding the back and slowly lowering one vertebra at a time down, laying on our backs. Let's point the toes forward. Bridge pose one more time, and we're gonna do the final and last 20 reps. So do your best here, lifting the hips as high as you can, pressing into the outer and inner edges of your feet, making sure that your toes are pointing forward and your feet are hip width apart. Continue lifting as high as you can, extending the tailbone down. This is a great back bend, and at the same time it's a beautiful leg and glutes exercise using a classical yoga pose and making it dynamic. Great. When you're done with your 20 reps, take happy baby one more time. Flex your feet, press your knees down by your rib cage. This is another great hip opener that balances out lower back problems. And for the final relaxation, feel free to just bring your feet together into a reclining Uttanasan and just stay here for a minute or two, allowing yourself to go deeper and to stay empty, slowly letting everything disappear and just observing the present moment. And as your mind becomes quiet, slowly turn your gaze towards your heart, listening to the sound of your own heart beating. Anchoring you to the present moment. And as you're listening to your heartbeat, come back to the intention we set in the beginning of this practice, to always listen to our highest truth. And let this intention become the center of your focus right now, without any judgment, without any thought. Allow yourself to experience the emotion of this intention. And stay here, quiet and centered and peaceful, meditating on your highest truth, listening to the music within you. Namaste.